Good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to another episode in this special sort of extended Devtoberfest webinar series on what's new in SAP HANA 2.0 SPS 08. With me, I have Venkat and Seungjoon. So welcome to you both. It's very late, I know, at over where you are, Seungjoon. So thanks for joining. And yeah, I'm going to hand over to the two of you now. Just a message to the folks in the chat who have joined. Please share your thoughts, share your questions. I'll be monitoring the chat, and at the end, I can relay some of those questions to the two lovely people here. So take it away, you two.
Thank you, Adams.
Thank you. And let me share my screen. All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Seungjoon Lee, and today I will share the latest and greatest new updates regarding the SAP HANA 2.0 SPS 08, especially about data integration, which include Smart Data Access, also known as SDA, and Smart Data Integration, SDI, and also SDQ. So I'll start from the SDA part, and then I will hand over to Venkat for the SDI and SDQ. And as briefly mentioned, my name is Seungjoon Lee, and I am the product manager for SAP HANA, especially responsible for data federation and replication and any other topics. So without further ado, let me start. So first, let me quickly go through the new innovations and new features regarding the SAP HANA Smart Data Access SDA. So first feature I would like to introduce is a new remote source support. As you can see here, new capability to connect remote ABAP cloud or remote ABAP on-premise. So which means any ABAP-based systems which supports SQL service. And this is, as you may know, this is the same feature we already have in SAP HANA Cloud, but this time the good news is the entire feature is downported to SPS 08. So I'm glad to announce that this feature is now supported from SPS 08 in SAP HANA 2.0. So before going through the slide, let me quickly show you my previous blog here. As you may know, there is a blog I wrote, taking data federation to the next level, accessing remote ABAP CDSP entities in SAP HANA Cloud. So what I will share today is exactly the same feature what we have in SAP HANA Cloud, as I mentioned. And in this blog, basically, all you need to know is there. So if you are interested I recommend to go through my blog, and you can see all the details and how to configure and everything you can find here. So let me quickly go through what it is. So as you can see here, this is basically SQL read-only access to remote ABAP CDSP entities. But please kindly note that this is not the same as the old DDIC-based CDS view. This is a new ABAP CDSP entities, and only that entities are supported here. And we use the ABAP ODBC driver here, and the difference from the HANA Cloud is you need to download this ABAP ODBC driver and then install it and configure it in your SAP HANA Platform 2.0. And it's the same as the capability in SAP HANA Cloud. It supports pass parameters to the remote parameters ABAP CDSP entities. So here are some examples. As you can see, you can create a virtual table in this way, and also you can pass parameters if needed in like this, parentheses and parameters and so on. So basically benefits are, as you may know, there is a very famous SAP note 251120, which means feature is about written by ABAP team, but it is about they don't recommend, ABAP team doesn't recommend accessing the underlying HANA of any ABAP system such as S4HANA directly due to many issues. So here, just a second. Here you can see this is the note I mentioned, 2511210 and access to ABAP managed database object. Here, as you can see, you will see all the concerns and issues when you access the underlying HANA of any ABAP system. But the conclusion here is, as you can see here, this means that you should not use non-ABAP managed native SQL to access database objects. So the reason we introduced this ABAP adapter is it resolves all issues caused by accessing underlying HANA. Since it goes through the ABAP layer, so it doesn't bypass any ABAP security layer, or it doesn't lose any the semantics and so on. So as I described here, for ABAP SQL semantics apply and so on. So I will not go through each and every detail, but you can see, as you can see in this note, all concerns written in this note will be resolved if you use this ABAP ODBC adapter and access the remote ABAP system. And also this is optimized for the data federation, obviously, as a SDA adapter. So it pushing down joins and filters. But at the moment, we don't support join relocation yet, but it will be supported in the future. So that's the quick overview of the first feature. And next feature is about another new remote source support, which is not totally new, but extend our existing remote source support. So as you can see here, we already support on-prem SAP IQ, but from SPS 08, I'm also glad to announce that SAP HANA Cloud Data Lake Relational Engine, which is our cloud version of SAP IQ, can be accessed via SDA IQ ODBC adapter. So, but here the key difference is you should use a dedicated client driver for this access. So here I described you can download HANA Data Lake Client 1.0 here, and the driver should be later than version I described here. So you can download this driver and set up the ODBC driver to connect remote data lake relation engine in SAP HANA Cloud from SAP HANA on-premise. So this means that it will enhance the flexibility by extending the data management to the cloud. So while you are using HANA in on-prem world, you can leverage the relational engine SAP cloud version of SAP IQ as an extended data source in the cloud. So this is the quick overview of the second feature. And like other SDA adapters, this accessing the cloud source requires downloading and importing the SSS certificate signed by DigiCert. And last but not least, the supported scope of the capability as a remote source is the same as SAP IQ. So that's the quick overview of the second feature. And the last one here is the newer version of remote source support. The existing, we already support Microsoft SQL Server in on-prem SDA, but here we from SPS 08 and the latest version of SPS 07 and SPS 05, we certified the Microsoft SQL Server 2022 as a officially supported SDA remote source. And another good news is, as many customers already requested for when connecting the MS SQL Server, many customers want to have a SSL connection to comply their the policy in the company and security guidelines. So we're glad to share that if you use the Microsoft ODBC driver 18, then the encrypt connection property is enabled by default, which means if you use this Microsoft ODBC driver 18, then even remote source connection to lower version of MS SQL Server will support SSL connection. So, and if the remote source SQL Server uses self-signed certificate, this parameter must be set to yes. And here, important considerations are not new. This is the same already written in the central SDA note 26000176. And I just wanted to repeat those important considerations here. So that's the reason why I wrote here, but I will not go through each and every detail. And benefit is obviously enhanced flexibility by enabling creation of remote source to newer version of MS SQL Server. So that's the quick overview of all major innovations of SDA. And with that, let me hand over to Venkat.
Yep. Thank you, Seungjoon. Let me share my screen. Let me know when you can see my screen.
We will, don't worry. Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Again, my name is Venkat Madireddi. Today, I'm from SAP Cross Product Management, primarily responsible for product management for SAP HANA Smart Data Integration. Today, I will walk you through different enhancements we made for SDI, which is a delta from SPS 7 to SPS 8. With SDI, the release cycles of SDI is a little bit different than HANA release cycles. SDI, we kind of release multiple patches every year. And we have released multiple patches for SPS 7. We take this webinar as an opportunity to introduce all the patches we released between SPS 7 to SPS 8. Currently, the SDI 2.8, which is the SDI specific SP8, is planned to be released in Q1. So you will have to wait till Q1 to get the latest DP agent for the SP8 in Q1. But what we have done is we have taken the latest SP7 patch, which is 2.7.6, is certified with SP8. So you need to go to SAP Service Marketplace and you can download the latest 2.7.6 and use with SDI. Moving, I will start going through the different enhancements we have done for SDI. Give me 1 second. Sorry. Okay. Regarding, I'll start with the different certifications we have done for SDI. The first certifications we have done for the connectivity, which is for the adapters. We have certified Microsoft Azure Synapse Analytics. This is certified with MS SQL Log Reader Adapter. Now you can connect to Microsoft Azure Synapse Analytics with MS SQL Log Reader Adapter. And this currently supports only the initial loads. And we have also certified Microsoft SQL Server 2022. This is certified with both MS SQL Log Reader Adapter and ECC MS SQL ECC Adapter. So both adapter functionalities, whatever the current functionalities we have in these adapters, the adapter capabilities will be also supported for the MS SQL Server 2022. The next certification we have done is the PostgreSQL 16.x. This is certified. This version is certified with the PostgreSQL Log Reader Adapter. And for the Hive adapter, we are certifying Hive 4.0.x on Hadoop 3.3.1. This is currently planned for SDI 2.8. As I mentioned before, SDI 2.8 is planned for Q1 2025. And this Hive adapter certification is planned for Q1. And we also certified Databricks. Databricks is certified with Camel JDBC adapter. I will go a little bit deep into these functionalities in the upcoming coming slides. But what we have certified Databricks with Camel JDBC adapter. Now you can use, you can connect to Databricks, and this also supports only the initial load. The next enhancement we have done is for the DP agent. Now the DP agent is certified for Windows Server 2022. So DP agent can be installed and configured for Windows Server 2022. All these enhancements have been available with the DP agent 2.7.4 or later, but we always suggest you to get the latest one, which is available in SAP marketplace. So for download the latest one, which is 2.7.6. That will include all the enhancements we have done in the SPS 7 Delta patch releases. The benefits of these adapter certifications, again, we want to stay current with the industry standards and also leverage the ability to extract data from new sources like Synapse and Databricks. The next enhancement is a minor enhancement. We heard you, we heard our customers, and customers have raised some concerns about documentation not being clear for different deployments, because in the past we always had one set of documentation, which is a configuration guide for both HANA Cloud and HANA on-premise. That created some confusion. So we kind of now separated the documentation to be more scenario focused documentation. So what we have done is, as you can see in the screen, we kind of separated the. Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt. Could you just maybe do the slideshow, because what you're pointing to on your large screen is quite small.
Oh.
If you share the slides.
Oh, I did. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Is it good?
Yeah, the slide's bigger. What you're pointing to on the slide within the slide is a little bit small, but we'll go with it.
Okay. It's now on the slideshow. Is it good now?
Yeah, that's better. That's definitely better. Thank you.
Okay. So the configuration guide, now we have a configuration guide for SAP HANA Cloud, and we also have a configuration guide for other HANA scenarios, which is like on-premise. And so these are separated, documentation is separated to make it more scenario-focused documentation. And the next enhancement, I will just, for the next few slides, I will talk about some enhancements that we have done for the data provisioning agent. What we have done is for the data provisioning agent, we have enhanced, we did some enhancements. The first enhancement is about data provisioning, DP agent management web service. You all must be knowing that we have a DP agent management web service for some time now. This provides the features for the basic agent management functions and expose these functions through a web UI. Now, what we have done is previously this agent management web service is supporting only the basic authentication. In order to connect to this agent web service, we supported only the basic authentication using username and password. Now we kind of enhanced to provide some centralized authentication using LDAP. Now we supported starting authentication with LDAP. Now you have an option of configuring this agent management web service with LDAP authentication. So we provide you the both basic and LDAP authentication with this agent management web service. So in order to configure the LDAP authentication, you need to select in the DP agent CLI tool. You need to select the LDAP authentication for this web service, agent management web service. In the LDAP authentication, you can provide all the LDAP related configuration settings, and you can connect to the LDAP. So with this LDAP, basically this LDAP configuration, we support also restricted, all the users can be restricted by the group-based user access. And you can configure all this LDAP authentication directly from the DP agent config agent CLI. For any LDAP that is connecting over SSL, there are some prerequisites that you need to follow. You need to import the LDAP server SSL certificate into the DP agent SSL trust store. For that, what you need to do is you need to reach out to your LDAP administrator and get that LDAP certificate, SSL certificate. Once you have the LDAP certificate from the administrator, you can use the key tool that we provide as part of DP agent root directory, and you can directly import the certificate into into the DP agent SSL trust store. So this is you need to do this, especially if you're connecting in LDAP server that is over SSL. And this particular functionality is available with DP Agent 2.7.2 or later. There are some prerequisites that is important to consider. First thing is whoever is configuring this LDAP, they need to have a basic understanding on how this LDAP works. And you need to make sure the DP agent, wherever the DP agent is installed, the DP agent should be able to access the LDAP server from that mission. And you also have to create a bind user, which is required for the LDAP to search the login users within the LDAP server. So you need to make sure you have this LDAP bind username and password that can do the search for the users in the LDAP server. So these are some prerequisites that you need to look for before configuring the LDAP for the agent management web service. Again, this functionality is available with DP Agent 2.7.2 or later. So it is always recommended to use the most recent agent that will include all the enhancements we have done. So again, the benefits with this is enhanced security with centralized authentication. And this is once you create an LDAP username and password, once you configure the LDAP access, you can directly open the UI for the data provisioning agent management UI, and you can use the LDAP user and password to log in. The next enhancement is again for the data provisioning agent. With this enhancement, what we have done is, you might be knowing that we kind of supported JDBC connection test utility, and this has been available for some time now. This connection test utility is primarily used in case if you have any connection issues between your agent and HANA Cloud or HANA on-premise. So this will help you to understand, like, troubleshoot these connection issues. So we have done some enhancement for this JDBC connection test utility. I will walk you through these enhancements. So the first enhancement, what we have done is, now this utility can directly read the connection details from the DP agent config.ini and agent secure storage. So you can specify all the connection parameters for this connection utility in the DP agent config.ini, and it can read from there, or it can also read from the secure storage. And that is the major enhancement we have done. You don't just need to run from the command line. Instead, you can use the DP agent config, where you can store all the connection parameters. And on the command line, if you specify all the connection parameters, this will override whatever is found in the configuration file or secure storage. So if you just use within the command line all the parameters, that will override the parameters in the configuration file. This utility now supports X509 certificate-based authentication and SSL or TLS encrypted connections. And in the past, we supported only the SQLs through a SQL file. Now what we have done is, we have started supporting SQL statements in inline SQL statements. So you can directly give the SQL statement within the command line itself. And this SQL statement is limited to the maximum of 50 characters. And also another enhancement that we have done for this utility now generates the detailed trace file that includes the full running status of the connection, and also the communication details between the DP agent and HANA database. So it gives you all the trace information. And this is supported with DP agent 2.7.2 or later. And again, this is all these enhancements are made to have a better debugging capabilities within the JDBC connectivity test utility. The next enhancement is for the DP agent. So what we have done is, with the DP agent log files, we did not have retention strategy. So the DP agent log files keep deleting as the logs exceed certain volume. So what we have done is we have given a retention strategy in case if you have some issues and you want to go back and see what has happened, like if you see some connection drops, but again the connection came back and it is working as usual, but you want to go back and see if there is like why the connection has dropped and how it has restarted. You can go back if the logs are saved, right? So that is the reason we kind of provided some retention strategy for the logs. So now the logs are allowed, we kind of compress the logs and store it retained for minimum of 3 days. So the default is 3 days. We retain the logs and those are compressed. So in order to do that, and if you want to change it, if you don't want to compress the logs or if you don't want to retain it, you can turn it off using the dp agent config.ini. Within that, you have this parameter called framework.log dot compress. If you set to false, it will not compress. If you set to true, it will compress. So the next parameter that we added is the duration. So you can specify the duration, whether it is in days or minutes or in hours or seconds. So you can set the duration and the duration unit in these two parameters. So by default, it is always 3 days, but you can change it to 3 hours or 3 minutes or 3 seconds too. So this is where basically we are supporting now the retention strategy for DP agent log files. So this help in troubleshooting any issues and see how for example, if you have an issue, that issue, if you want to trace back to see when it has happened, you can just go back to the log files and trace back when exactly that issue has happened. This is another enhancement. Next enhancement is again for the DP agent. Now data provisioning agent supports automatic cleanup of obsolete objects with trigger-based adapters from the source database. So with the trigger-based adapters, any obsolete objects on the source, we don't want to replicate, cause any issues with the replication. If you want to automatically clean up any obsolete objects on the source, we have added some new parameters in the dp agent config.ini again, where you can set these parameters to true. Right now it is supported for the db2, HANA, MS SQL, and Oracle. So for this auto cleanup, if you want to clean up all anything that is on the source, any obsolete objects that are part of that are created because of the trigger-based replication, if you want to clean up, you can set to true. So this will enable auto cleanup. So this will help to maintain clean and efficient replication and reduce any potential errors, during the replication. And it will also improve performance with the replication. Again, this enhancement is supported with DP Agent 2.7.5 or later. Another enhancements. Now I'll walk you through some enhancements we have done for the adapters, different adapters. The first adapter is ABAP adapter. Within the ABAP adapter, we supported ABAP adapter supports calling BAPI functions as virtual procedures. I think we have introduced this for a while now. So what we have introduced now is we introduced specifying a transaction context in a virtual procedure that calls a BAPI functions. This enhancement gives what is the advantage of this enhancement? This gives the users more control over how transactions are managed in a complex flows. To enable this functionality, you need to you need to use this user-defined data provisioning property that we supported. It's called function underscore attribute underscore transaction underscore context. You can set this parameter different values, to specify a transaction context when creating a virtual procedure. So what happens is this property allows you to specify the transaction context when creating a virtual procedure. That means during a virtual procedure execution, you can we can now directly tie the procedure operations to a transaction context. So we allow the values no, yes, and close. So we kind of set the transaction context when executing this virtual procedure. This is supported with DP Agent 2.7.2 or later. So this kind of helps in enhancing performance with a web adapter by controlling the scope and the lifetime of a transaction. The next enhancement, what we have done is, this is for the Camel JDBC adapter. Previously, we have not supported push down. We are supporting some push down for the Camel JDBC adapter for certain clauses. For example, top or limit clauses. Now we can support pushing down to the source. So when you're using the Camel JDBC adapter, in order to support this, what you have to do is you have to go to the DP agent root directory. Under camel subfolder, there is an adapter.xml. In this configuration file, you will need to add cap underscore limit. Once you add this cap underscore limit into this configuration file, now the JDBC camel JDBC adapter is capable of pushing down the top or limit clauses, so that when you push down this top or limit clauses to the source, you don't need this expensive processing, query processing on the HANA side. So the filtering happens on the source side, and you will just get the data what you need on the HANA side. Again, if there are, because Camel JDBC adapter is a generic adapter, you can use it for multiple sources. But if you are using for a source that does not support top or limit in SQL query, you have to do two things. One is either avoid using this top or limit in the SQL query itself, or go back into the adapter.xml under the DP agent root camel subfolder and remove the cap limit. Otherwise, you will run into the errors, because if the source itself doesn't support the stop limit, and you if you specify the cap limit and you kind of try to push down to the source, there you will see errors. So in order to avoid these errors, either remove the cap limit manually or avoid using the top or limit clauses in the SQL query itself. As you can see in the screenshot, now if you have this top or limit in the sequels, those are pushed down to the source side. Again, this is supported with 2.7.1. And the benefit is, again, we want to, you can see a better performance with push down capability to the source. Another enhancement we have done with the Camel JDBC, this is more new connectivity that we are supporting. We are now supporting connections to the Databricks remote sources. Now with Camel JDBC adapter, you can connect to the Databricks, and it supports only initial load, no real time. Real time is not supported. In order to do this, you have to download the Databricks JDBC driver and place it under the camel subdirectory within the DP agent root folder under the lib subdirectory, camel lib subdirectory. And you can place the JDBC driver there. And you also need to open the JDBC Spring config.xml, and which is again in the DP agent root under the camel subfolder, and remove this following line, which is the default auto commit. Currently, the driver does not support this property. So if you have this property, if you leave this property in the in JDBC Spring config.xml, the connection will fail. So you need to remove this line from the JDBC Spring config.xml. And the connection to Databricks, the JDBC adapter now supports different authentication types that Databricks support. All these authentication types, which is Databricks access token, basic authentication, username and password, Microsoft Entra ID, OAuth M2M authentication, OAuth 2. Authentication, all these are supported with Camel JDBC adapter. What you need to do is, when you're configuring the remote source, you need to suffix the authentication in the JDBC URL. Suppose I'm connecting to Azure Databricks, and at the end of the URL, you need to suffix the authentication information. And if you are connecting to a non-default catalog or schema within the Databricks, you need to suffix that information to the URL also. For example, you're not connecting to the default catalog or schema, you need to mention that catalog, whichever the non-default catalog information you're connecting to, you need to mention that in the connection catalog parameter and connection schema parameter. So this needs to be suffixed to the JDBC URL, and put that URL in the remote source creation. So once you create a connection, now you should able to access all the catalog objects in the Databricks, and you can create a virtual table, and you can do a select. Again, this is only for the initial load. We cannot support real time with Camel JDBC adapter for the Databricks. Again, the benefits, we want to stay current with all the advancements and industry standards, and Databricks is one connectivity that we want to support. The next enhancement is more for the Oracle Log Reader Adapter and Oracle ECC Adapter. So we have a known issue with Oracle. With Oracle, with Oracle Log Reader Adapter, SAP HANA with SDI, it is always say HANA centric. So you can read from Oracle and write to HANA. So the data replication is always HANA centric, but for certain adapters, we support write back capabilities. When you're writing back, when you're replicating from HANA to cloud, this is not recommended, but we do support if the performance is not a criteria, or volumes are not, data volumes are not criteria, because we are not, SDI is not optimized for write back. SDI is only optimized for writing into the HANA, loading into the HANA. So, but we do support write back functionality for certain adapters. You can check in the PAM for the adapters that we set that we support write back. Oracle is one such adapter where we support write back functionality, where you can read from HANA and write it into the Oracle. When you're doing this replication from HANA to Oracle, currently we have an issue. It is more an issue on Oracle side. So Oracle, when you're writing into Oracle, all the null, the blanks in the HANA will be treated as a null. When it is treated into the null, it just fails. The replication fails. So what we have done is we have added a new parameter to convert the null to a space when you're writing back to the Oracle. So you can enable this parameter in Oracle Log Reader remote source configuration. You can set this parameter to true. When you set this parameter to true, what happens is it will convert the null to a space when you're writing back to the Oracle. So this parameter is optional, and default is false. Only if you're writing back, you turn it on. And this can be applied only to the string columns nvarchar and varchar. And this enhancement supports for both Oracle Log Reader Adapter as well as Oracle ECC Adapter. So it is supported for both Log Reader and ECC. And so it is supported with DPagent 2.7.1 or later. Again, this provides a better handling of replication for write-back scenarios when populating with not null fields. So when you have not null fields, when you're trying to write back, currently we have an issue, but that is resolved with this parameter, because you're going to convert the null to space when you're writing back to the not null fields. The next enhancement again is for the Oracle Log Reader Adapter. We supported a new option to ignore Oracle system schemas when loading table dictionaries. So right now, Oracle has system schemas that includes tables, views, and other catalog objects that are not really needed for the replication. But when you are loading the table dictionary for the Oracle, we are loading all these unwanted Oracle system schemas. Sometimes that takes longer time and also causes timeout. So what we have done is to improve the performance with the table loading, table dictionary loading. We added a new parameter in the DP agent config.ini that is to ignore the system schemas. So now you can set a parameter in DP agent config.ini. It is for the adapter.logreader.load table dictionary.ignore system schemas. You can set this to true. When you set this to true, what happens is it will ignore all the schemas when loading the table dictionary. So these system, as I mentioned, these system schemas contain large number of objects that sometimes take a longer time, or sometimes even timeout occurs because it is loading huge number of catalog objects from this system schemas. So you can now ignore those system schemas by setting this parameter. Again, it is supported with the DP agent 2.7.4, and it provides enhanced performance with loading table dictionary. The next enhancement we have done with MS SQL log reader adapter. Now with MS SQL log reader adapter, now you can connect to Microsoft Azure Synapse. So if you want to create a remote source for Azure Synapse, use the Microsoft log reader adapter, and you can connect with this log reader adapter. So what you have to do for connecting to Azure Synapse, you need to download Microsoft JDBC driver 9.1.0 or later, and you need to use this driver to connect to the Azure Synapse Analytics. And it only supports select read-only queries. Basically, it will do only the initial load. Real-time replication is not supported. You can select from Azure Synapse, and only federation is supported, mostly the initial load. And what you can do once you create a remote source, you can you can browse the catalog objects and create virtual tables and perform remote queries in the Azure Synapse Analytics. So basically, we are supporting the federation through SDI adapter for Azure Synapse. Again, this is supported with DP Agent 2.7.2 or later. Again, we wanted to be, make sure we are following the industry standards and following all the advances with the new connectivity. And we are now supporting the connectivity to Azure Synapse Analytics as well. Another enhancements, again, this is in the area of DB2. For IBM DB2 log reader adapter, with SP7, we introduced the DB2 log reader adapter in trigger-based mode. So previously, it is only the log-based mode, capture mode, CDC mode. Now we kind of enhanced to use the trigger-based mode in SP7. But we have not supported some core functionalities for the trigger-based mode. Now we have enhanced those functionalities in SP7 patches. The first enhancement is to filter out the source table transactions. So if there are any transactions done by the maintenance users on the source, whether it is delete, update, or any transactions, and you want to filter out those transactions done by the maintenance users, you can provide the maintenance users name in usernames in maintenance user filter. This is case sensitive. If you have one user, you can just specify one user. If you want to filter out any transaction done by this one user, you can specify that one user. But if you have multiple users, you can separate those users using a backslash. So when you specify these users, all the transactions done by these users are filtered out and not propagated to the target. We supported DDL propagation with this trigger-based mode also. For DDL propagation, we added a new parameter for DDL scan interval in minutes. So this is the parameter that tells the adapter to wait to compare the metadata between DB2 catalog and the subscription registry to identify any DDL changes. Any changes happening through DDL, this tells you to wait this many minutes to identify the DDL changes. So we added this parameter. The default value is 10. If you lower it to 0, the DDL replication will be disabled. So we are supporting the DDL operations like drop table, add column, and drop column. Those are the 3 DDL operations we support with the DB2 log reader adapter in trigger-based mode. Another enhancement we have done is when you are making an update on the source side and you want to merge the before and after, instead of having 2 different rows in the shadow tables, if you want to make the update as 1 row in the shadow table, you can set this parameter to true. And we also supported to enable statement level triggers or row level triggers. So this will help you to insert in bulk for all the changes in trigger for the triggers, for the statement level triggers. So all these parameters provide improved performance with trigger based approach, CDC approach, and this is supported with DB agent 2.7.2. The next enhancement we have done is for the CDI adapter. CDI adapter now supports statistics for the monitoring. CDI adapter supports real-time replication, and we now added all these different statistics you're seeing on the screen. All these statistics are added to the CDI adapter, and these statistics you can see it from the m_remote source statistics. So when you enable CDI adapter for real-time replication and you want to see the statistics for the CDI adapter, you can query the m_remote source statistics to find out how the replication is going. By default, all these statistics, this adapter statistics for CDI will be updated every 5 minutes. And again, the benefit is this will allow you to monitor your performance and also to troubleshoot any issues with replication for the CDI adapter. Another enhancement we have done is for the HANA adapter. This is a minor enhancement. Now HANA adapter supports pushing down where clauses for views that contain Windows functions like lead. If you have a window function within the virtual view, it was never pushed down. Now we are supporting that push down capability. So whenever you have a window function that within the virtual view, that will be pushed down to the source, which was not supported earlier. And again, this will provide you the better push down capabilities that will improve the performance. And since you're not bringing all the data to the HANA, the memory consumption also is less, with this function, with this enhancement. This is supported with DP agent 2.7.1. And this is showing the query has been now pushed down to the source. The next enhancement, we added a new adapter for HANA adapter. We currently support V1. There is a new adapter called V2. Why did we add a new adapter? We added a new functionality in this version 2 adapter. The version 2 will contain all the enhancement, all the functionalities, all capabilities of V1 in V2 also. In V2, we added a new functionality. We are supporting trigger level value filtering. So we kind of filter the trigger, like on the triggers, enable filters in the triggers to restrict the number of records added to the shadow tables and then replicating to the target. So we are kind of filtering at the trigger level itself to restrict how many records you bring it to the shadow tables and to the target. This is supported only with version 2. If you use version 1, it is not supported. Version 2 will include all the functionalities of version 1 plus this new functionality. So, it is always recommended to use version 2 because version 2 has this new functionality. And moving forward, any new functionality for HANA adapter will be supported only for V2. So if you have some, replication flows or flow graph that is using HANA Adapter V1, you can continue to use it, no problem. Only if you want this new functionality, you need to switch to the version V2. Again, we added two new parameters. One is enable filters and triggers. You can set it to true. That will enable the trigger level value filtering. And we kind of added a new parameter called transmit data in compact mode. So what we'll do is the adapter packs and sends the data of sends out the data of one table together with other tables which are similar, so that this could be applied to the DP server, and it will speed up the applying to the DP server applier. So this is need to be set to true, and these values can be changed only when the remote source parameter is suspended. You cannot change this when remote source is running, and it is supported with 2.7.3. Again, since you are filtering out on the source itself at the trigger level itself, you are not bringing everything to the target, and that will improve the performance. And since you are filtering on the source itself, and you are kind of combining transmitting the data in compact mode, this will overall reduce the cost and improve the overall efficiency of the replication. The next adapter is the CDI adapter. We started supporting the data log with the CDI adapter. Now CDI adapter supports data logs for tracking OData requests, records, and response links. So you can enable this logging for the CDI adapter by changing the DP agent config.ini, enable data log to true, and restart the agent. Once you do the agent, you need to create a CDI data log in the DP agent root log folder. You need to specify which catalog object or which subscription you want to track, you want to log. You need to specify that in the configuration file under the log folder. And if you want to comment out any of the catalog object or the subscription, you can use a hash that will disable the logging for that individual object. And the log files are stored under the DP agent log directory. The log file is a CSV file, and it has three important information. One is with hash trace that will contain the OData request, your next link or delta link from the OData response, and the record numbers in the response and current delta link. And there is a hash row type that will include all the column types, and anything that is without the hash is all the received records. So this is also supported with 2.7.3 or later. And there is some housekeeping that you can set it up, how big the size of the default log file, and how many days you want to keep the log files. Those can be set in the DP agent config.ini. So these are housekeeping for backing up the data log files. And the CDI, another enhancement is for the CDI. Now we are enabling the CDI admin service API for monitoring and troubleshooting. You can enable this by when you create a remote source for the CDI. There is a enable admin service that you can set to true. When you set to true and create a remote source, you can see from the remote source, there is a CDI admin service created, and this admin service will have namespace, providers, and subscription. So you can use these admin service tables and create a virtual tables for these source CDI sources, admin service source tables, and you can do the monitoring and troubleshooting that is available in this admin service information. So this is supported as of DP agent 2.7.3, and this is for the CDI adapter. And the next one is SFTP adapter. With SFTP adapter, SFTP adapter data store, we supported multiple enhancements. We are supporting with we are supporting this now a access token. You can set the access token in the DP agent CLI tools. And now in the past, .cfg extensions are case sensitive. Now we made it in case sensitive, and also added a new wildcard percentile. in the past, while percentile is not working, now internally we're changing to star, and we are supporting this new wildcard character. And also, when this adapter now supports downloading the files to separate directories for each session, and it creates a workspace folder with a session ID for each of the separate directories that you're using, that you are replicating or you're connecting to. It is supported with DP Agent 2.73 or later. And it's mostly providing you enhanced usability with the file data store adapters. And the next one is the upcoming enhancements for 2.8. This is a first release of SDI for SP8. This is planned for Q1. So we are providing two enhancements here. With 2.8, we are enhancing the ECC adapter and ABAP adapter. In the ECC adapter, in the past, we did not support field descriptions or comments. If your source ECC tables has field descriptions or comments, when you're replicating, it is not replicated. Now, with ECC adapters like Oracle, DB2, MS SQL, and HANA, after replication, the target table will have both technical names as well as the descriptions for the fields. So you will have both the information. And with ABAP adapter, especially with real-time replication, there is no statistics supported. We are now supporting the statistics. You can get those statistics again from m_remote source statistics. Now ABAP adapter has a better statistics to troubleshoot any replication issues and monitor the replication. It is going to be supported with DP Agent 2.8 that is planned for Q1 2025. This benefits of these enhancements, it overall improves the efficiency with ECC replication, because now we have the field descriptions that you can leverage those field descriptions in the ECC to provide some operational efficiency. And with ABAP adapter, you can monitor the replication progress as well as see if there is any issues. You can troubleshoot those issues. And then the last slide I have is for the smart data quality. With smart data quality, we are now we have only one big enhancement for SP8. What we have done is with the DKMM cleanse transform. This DKMM cleanse transform is available in HANA Cloud as well as on-premise. For this particular DKMM cleanse transform, we are adding new country address directories. So for South America, we are adding 3 countries: Bolivia, Paraguay, and Venezuela. And we are supporting the address validation to the primary level. So what does this mean? When we are validating the address, we can validate to the either street level or to the house number. And these 3 countries have the address validation to the primary level now, and we can validate to the either to the street or house number. And again, this provides improved address assignment for South American countries like Paraguay, Venezuela, and Bolivia. With this, I think I'm done with with all enhancements for SDI and SDQ.
Amazing. Thank you, Venkat. I mean, my goodness me, that was a ton of enhancements. I'm only just drawing breath now. So thank you so much, Venkat, for sharing that. By the way, before we leave and just say our general goodbyes, if you maybe could stop sharing your screen as well right now, Venkat. We can all go back on video. Basically, there was one question from Declan. I'm not sure you covered it in the DP Agent. Lots of DP Agent updates. Does DP Agent support TLS 1.3?
I don't think so. We are still on 1.2.
1.2. Okay, lovely.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for asking the question, Declan. It just goes for me. That was an amazing session. We've just coming up to the hour, so it just remains for me to thank both Seungjoon and you, Venkat, for sharing this particular episode of the What's New with HANA SPS 08 and HANA 2.0 SPS 08, and say goodbye from me, and you two can say goodbye too.
Well, thank you everyone for attending this webinar.
And to your question, Johnny, yes, so Venkat and Seungjoon will be sharing the slides. We'll put the links in the description to this video. Bye for now, folks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well done. Thank you very much, and have a great evening, Seungjoon.